So, right, decorations for a Christmas tree. Something you can do with just a piece of paper is to fold and cut a star. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you the instructions I was given. And then because this is a maths event, we're going to come up with those instructions from scratch by thinking about how it might have worked. So here's what I was told. You take a piece of paper and you fold it in half. Like this. So I now have half a piece of paper and you fold it in half again. Get a nice crease. Undo that one fold. So I now have a folded edge and a sort of the two edges out here. So I'm going to fold down the top corner of the folded edge down to where the crease is. Haven't done this on Zoom before. I'm doing it backwards. Okay. Now there's a little flap here. I'm going to fold that so that it's over this other crease here. Leaving this sort of shape. And my last job is to fold this bottom edge so it lines up with the long edge opposite. You might have been shown this before. I think it's quite common in the last week of term before Christmas to spend your time making decorations. You may or may not. I need to also do some things for the interpreter as well. There we go. Sorry. Thank you for co-host and hopefully assign you to be an interpreter. Okay, we have the interpreter back. Fab. There we go. Interpretation is back on. Good. Right. So we're at the final step of cutting this. And the interesting thing here is that I can do a single cut and make a star. So the instructions tell me. I have to make quite a deep cut. The deeper, the more pointy the star. I'm left with this bit, and when I unfold, it hopefully will look, wow, it's a real 5-pointed star. So why does this work? And why am I talking about it in a maths event? I didn't know this, but then a mathematician friend of mine told me the secret to this kind of thing where you've folded up paper and you make one cut that goes across everything is to think that whatever edge I have cut here has to be lined up with all the others at the point that it's folded up. So when this was folded, however it was, something, all of those edges were lying on top of each other and I just cut across them. So can we use that fact to reverse engineer this trick? Think about it. So I've got a piece of paper and I want to have this star. What I'm going to try and do is to fold the piece of paper to try and put edges on top of each other and end up with just one that I can then cut across. So there's a line of symmetry down the middle here. So I reckon this edge and this edge can be folded on top of each other and each one can match up with something on the other side. Now, here's another interesting thing. I'm a mathematician, so I don't often concern myself with doing stuff in the real world. So this might produce a result that's a little bit wrong, but I'll say it's right because it does roughly what I wanted it to do. Okay, so what have I got now? I've got this sort of thing left. On the other side is exactly the same. So I have these things lined up. And now I need to look for another fold I can make. So I want some more symmetry. I think I'll pick this line down here, which I'll try and do. So I'm trying to line up some edges on top of each other. Leaving me with just this. And I can repeat the trick. I've got some choices there. I think I'll go for folding this on here. And I have a final line of symmetry. I'm going to try and fold this line, which is actually quite a few lines all piled on top of each other, on top of this, which again is some more lines. Maybe it's a bit more rustic and a bit more handmade than the other one, but I've just about got one line left. I can see here, I've got a couple more bits. So I'm going to make one cut across this one line that I can still see. But quite often you're shown these sorts of tricks for how to do things. It might be an origami trick, folding paper, or a number trick to produce something. One of the best tricks that we mathematicians teach people is how to add up numbers by writing them in 2 lines and adding the digits. That's something that someone had to come up with. They had to think about what they were trying to achieve and sort of work backwards to what the steps need to be. So hopefully I have successfully reversed this by thinking about what I want to end up with. I want to have all of those lines together and finished with a star. Thanks for the applause. So you might not remember the steps that I showed you, but you should remember the really important fact, which is that all of these lines have to be on top of each other. You should be able to work out how to do this on your own and amaze everybody else. Lovely.